smart spatial planning. So that's making use of the space you do have. But what if you really have no more space in your property? S.P.E.E.D's got the answer after the break. Welcome back to S.P.E.E.D. Space is a very rare commodity in Singapore. So what do you do when you run out of space at home or in your office? S.P.E.E.D's Dipashri Das has been checking out some creative solutions for this vexing problem.
Afandi bin Harifin loves to fly, his beloved model airplanes, that is. But when he's not flying his expensive toys, he needs a place to store them. And as his small apartment has no space left, Afandi has opted for self-storage, an option many others may also be taking in the not-so-distant future.
The flats are getting smaller because 83% of the population live in public housing, in HDB flats. And if you compare the new size of the new flats with those that were built, say, 10 or 20 years ago, the size has actually shrunk by about 10%. Let's say a 5-room flat, it used to be about 115 to 120 square meters, and right now it's about 110, sometimes maybe even smaller, about 108 square meters.
Australian Michael Hagbeck saw a business opportunity in this space crunch. He realised that people will need places to store their stuff as they run out of space in their own homes that are getting progressively smaller. And so Mike founded his self-storage company, Extra Space, in April 2007. He based his decision on a number of factors.
It's a combination of, I guess, reduced living space. The cost of the space is going up. Also, people are wanting to do more with the time apart from just working, but need somewhere to keep, their stuff.
And whatever it is that you need to keep, you can choose from storage units that come in 100 different sizes. The options range from the smallest space of 16 square feet with a monthly rental of 88 Singapore dollars to the largest at 273 square feet, costing $965 a month. Climate-controlled space is also available for storage of expensive wines and spirits. In fact, this is a specialty service at Extra Space. All of this is accessible 24/7 to customers in secure premises such as this. But there are some other critical factors that tend to determine success in this line of business.
I guess there's 4 key factors. Demographics, so we need to have a good concentration of high-income, high-density population close by, within, say, 15 minutes. It needs to be accessible, so it needs to be close to expressways, major roads, and so on. It needs to be a certain size, so too small and we won't make any money, too big and we'll never fill up. So there's a certain size that we have to be in. It has to have certain usability, so it has to be easy for the customers to use. And then finally, has to be, affordable as well.
Affordability is what probably attracts small businesses to this concept. Rohana Jamaluddin rents 5 storage lockers at Extra Space. Han runs an online store, Mad About Vintage, that sells vintage furniture. And storing her inventory at Extra Space makes sense for many reasons.
I was looking at the fact that if I get a commercial space, a shop in a mall, I'll be locked in for about a year. Sometimes it's even 2+1, depending on the landlord or the property. Yeah. I wasn't prepared to do that. I didn't want to have a shop, where I have to have a permanent staff there. I wanted it to be more flexible. So having a showroom or a storage cum showroom helps me. It gives me free time to do my other work. And as and when the customers wants to see the products, they can just make an appointment with me.
Lower costs and flexible rental terms have helped Extra Space reach 5,000 customers in 5 years. However, competition is heating up with other operators such as StoreHub and Big Orange offering similar terms.
Actually, the fact that many of these operators have roughly about the same business model is that this is a formula that probably works. Right now, there is 5 or 6 such operators. That means the market is getting saturated. And the competition is there, so they must either try to reduce their costs, or since they can't really differentiate themselves that much, that means they cannot really charge rentals that is a lot higher than their competitors. Since they are capped, their rates are capped, so they have to find cheaper rentals. And industrial rentals are also gradually increasing. So in that sense, some of these operators over time will find that their profit margin will be squeezed.
This is when service becomes the key differentiator. At Extra Space, for example, the staff are on hand to take deliveries if the tenant is absent. It is on the back of such services and procedures that Mike seeks to expand beyond Singapore.
Seoul was interesting because it's a very big market. Nobody else was doing self-storage there. It's a massive city. Living spaces are quite small. For example, in the region of Gangnam, which is very expensive, there are lots of small houses because people just get so squeezed up. And KL likewise, like KL is a bit more spread out, but still around the central part of KL there's a lot of high density living, so around KLCC and Bangsa area.
Besides a growing middle-class population, storage solution providers also need to recognise a unique socio-economic aspect, the growing consumer culture in Asia.
As the city expands and as the lifestyle and standard of living increases, there is also aspirations among the growing middle class for a higher standard of living and also better quality goods. So they may buy something this year, but next year as a new trend or fashion comes along, they would like to buy that too, but they may not want to discard away what they have bought just a year ago. So hence there is this growing needs for storage space.
With consumer culture consuming more than ever before and an urban squeeze that is forcing homes to become smaller, storage solution operators like Extra Space function with a healthy 80% occupancy, a sign of a very robust business.
As space in this little island shrinks to accommodate its growing population, self-storage could very well become a very popular business model. And that's it for this edition. See you next time when S.P.E.E.D explains how the Council of Estate Agencies can help you deal with errant property agents. We also examine a stubborn urban renewal bone of contention, moving the dead to make way for the living. And we deconstruct the spaces in which we strive to stay as alive as possible. Public gyms, and some very private ones too. Well, you can't say that S.P.E.E.D doesn't give you variety. So join me, Oteli Edwards, and the rest of the team for the next eclectic edition of S.P.E.E.D.